With the 2019 MLS season just behind us in the rearview mirror, it's already time to look ahead to 2020. I'm Gareth Wheeler, and this is your TFC Insider, presented by the all-new Kia Telluride. Although the MLS Cup final is just behind us, this is actually the busiest time for the front office at Toronto FC. Decisions are to be made about what the club and team will look like heading into 2020. It's been said, reiterated, and made clear the top priority for Toronto FC is putting pen to paper on a brand new contract for their captain in Michael Bradley. The General, he made his feelings clear on Wednesday that he wants to be back in Toronto, and it seems a matter of time rather than anything else before Bradley, who's been here for 6 years, extends his stay here in Toronto. The only thing that's to be determined is whether that contract will be as a designated player or as a TAM player. It seems like both options are on the table. Now, obviously, for the team moving forward, going the TAM route would be preferable for Bradley, as it would open up a DP spot where Toronto FC would be looking to bring in another attack-minded player. It's been said that Toronto FC are not locked in on just one particular player, but are more concerned about the profile. They want a player that can come in and score 10 to 15 goals over the course of a season, and where that player would play along the top line, well, that's to be determined depending on what other moves are made in the coming weeks. Get Bradley's deal done first and let the other dominoes fall afterwards. In terms of players who are out of contract, really right now it's just Drew Moore. His future's up in the air. He's out of contract. Jay Chapman also was going to be out of contract, but instead he was traded to Inter Miami for $100,000 in general allocation money. Other players have club options. Many of them are expected to be picked up, including Justin Morrow, the long-standing left back of Toronto FC, is one of those players. But speaking with President Bill Manning, it seems like the team is thrilled with what they have at the fullback positions, so expect Morrow along with Richie Larea and Arrow to feature prominently in those roles. The club ecstatic on what they have. In fact, Arrow, being pushed on by Larea on the season, recommitted himself to fitness, actually lost 15 pounds over the course of the season, and has turned into one of the top fullbacks in all of Major League Soccer. Looking at the date as to when those contracts, club options need to be picked up, it's November 21st, with MLS free agency opening on November 25th. Now, that's not the first key date for Toronto FC. The first key date is Friday, November 15th, when TFC must submit their 12-player protection list ahead of MLS expansion draft, which is coming up on Tuesday, November 19th. Along with those 12 protected players, homegrown players will also be unavailable to pick up for both Inter Miami as well as Nashville, who are joining the MLS fold. Remember, back in 2017, Toronto FC lost Raheem Edwards to MLS expansion. After the expansion draft plays out, TFC will have a better understanding of where they might need to add to compensate for any loss. The message is quite clear coming out of TFC. They've come through a difficult time, and this offseason is about fine-tuning. Some young players might go away on loan to gain some much needed experience playing at the professional level. Other players might decide for them to actually play, they may need to move on to another club, but consistency is what's being preached. They believe that this team that went 13 games unbeaten heading into MLS Cup is good enough to compete with the best of the best. More consistency out of the gate, perhaps adding one or two players. A DP would be huge, but the foundation is there for Toronto FC to kick on and have another special campaign come 2020.